Hi, welcome to Social Welfare Institutions. This is another multi-location course. So we will be having class on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 2:15. However, with technology, will be transmitting our live lecture from main campus also to Vinton and Meg's centers. And I just realized this is in there wrong. This is what happens when I write syllabi all day. I end up typing really weird things and then I catch them. Okay, so again, if you're on main campus, we will be meeting in Wood Hall 111, but also we are transmitting this course live through our equipment to Meigs and Vinton at the same time. And so we will have students joining us from those locations. And I'm so excited to be doing this again. We'll have quite a few classes this semester that we're doing this with, and it's going to be great. And I'm very, very excited. Okay, so here's all of my information. I think everybody in this class has me for another class. So you've probably heard this like 3 other times by now. There's my email. If you have anything that you need to ask me that is outside of class time, please email me if you can't find me during, or if you can't come to my office hours. There are my office hours there. If you're located at another location and aren't able to make it to main campus and need to make a meeting with me, please let me know. We will schedule something virtually, no problem at all. And then also, if you do come to my office hours and I am not in my office, there should be a piece of paper, sign, something saying where I am and where you can find me. If there is nothing, wait a couple of minutes because I might be at the copier or something like that, and then I will come. If I don't come in a couple of minutes, email me and I will see it and I will tell you where to find me. Okay. I like to go and hang out in the cafeteria during my office hours. I also know we're getting a new student lounge, so I might be hanging out there, all of that fun stuff. Okay, Social Welfare Institutions I love this class. It is policy. We are talking about the macro social work political world. And I mean, it's so important because it really dictates so much that you do as a social worker. So it's really important that we understand how politics and our history have shaped our welfare institutions, how it's shaped us as a profession, and how it's really shaped how we practice. So, course description, an introduction to social service agencies as society's response to social problems. Orientation will emphasize the practice approach in the context of contemporary social welfare policy. Residual and institutional welfare philosophies will be identified in the application of policy and introduced for service evaluation. So you will definitely learn next week in week 2 what residual and institutional welfare philosophies are, plus a few other key terms that we use to analyze policy. There's our prereqs. This is a 3 credit hour class, and there is our text, and I've got it up here. Let me bring it up here. You can see part of it, but it is green with some rainbow windows. It is a social welfare history of the American response to need. It's the 9th edition. You can get an older edition if you like. Sometimes it's cheaper. Do what you need there. Let me bring this back up. Okay, there we go. Okay. But you will want that book because we will use it for lectures and for tests. Here's our program outcomes and my grading expectations, policies, and things like that. We do have 9 quizzes. It comes straight from your text. Okay, there are 9 chapters in this book. If I am not, 9 chapters in this book. There's only 9 chapters in this book. So I also show quite a few documentaries that regard policy and things that correlate with this, with what we're learning, and things like that. So you do have 9 quizzes. You have the midterm and the final, each 250 points each, which make up half of your final grade. You have the policy group research paper and the policy group presentation. You do not have to do this in a group, and it is only 2, okay? So you can't have 3 or 4 in a group, but you can, like I said, you can do it individually. yeah, so we'll see. Okay. We'll see how this goes, especially with us doing the multi-location. I'm really excited to see how this goes. Okay. And then you have the participation rubric, which I will give to you at the end of the semester. There is the grading scale. You guys should know by now that anything below a C is considered failing in our program, and you would have to repeat the class. Okay, so chapter quizzes. You will take a quiz on all chapters in your text. The required text has been selected for thorough coverage of the material, and the quizzes are from the text. You are fully responsible for your selection of the time when you take your quizzes and exam, and you must take them within the given parameters. Again, you get about a week. I usually open them up on a Sunday, and they close on a Sunday. So you have an entire week to take your quizzes. You also know when you will be taking them and when they are due. So there will be no makeup quizzes and no late quizzes or anything else like that. It will turn into an automatic 0 unless I know unforeseeable things happen and I would need a big long doctor's note for that. But you do know when these are due. You'll know here in a few minutes if you haven't already looked over the syllabus. Okay, you get one chance to take the quiz, one time. You do not get one attempt. You cannot save it and come back later. And make sure you take it. Okay, don't skip quizzes or anything else like that. A failure to complete one assignment can result in a failure of the class. Okay, midterm and finals, again over the books. Okay, the quizzes, no one will have the exact same quiz. Quizzes, I created a pool of questions. They are randomly selected, so I don't even know what quiz questions you're going to get, but no one will have the same quiz. Okay, and the midterms and finals are actually made from those quizzes, those pools. Okay, policy group research paper. Okay, so this paper is part of the policy group research presentation and will be 10 to 12 pages long. Okay, a cover letter and reference page are in addition to the 10 to 12 pages and in APA format. Must include 18 to 20 resources. Okay, each group will submit one paper. Your group will choose a social issue and identify major social welfare policies that relate to the social problem, specifically focusing on policies and institution responses to COVID, the pandemic, and intergenerational services. The group will select 2 policies or programs related to the social problem. The paper must include description of the background, history, significance, and current issues, climate of the chosen social problem, description of 2 policies and/or programs and how each addresses the social problem, assessment of strengths and opportunities for change of the selected policies and programs, and impacts on macro, meso, and micro levels. Yes, I know, so exciting. You will be partnering with upper level students on this project from social work methods and processes for the planning of the intergenerational festival. Okay, so for example, if you've not heard of the intergenerational festival, the seniors in the program, they do plan what we call the intergenerational festival, which happens in October. Usually late October, sometimes early November. And the purpose of that is to get community members together, different generations and things together, and employ some interventions and really do this community macro level intervention in our community. Okay, so your job is to help start that with just some evidence-based research on some interventions that regard intergenerational and community activities, policies, programs, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so nothing too overbearing. Okay, and we're also going to see how that goes considering we're still in the pandemic and we are currently in a surge and we're not really for sure what it's going to look like in October/November when this may take place and what policies we may have in place then as far as gatherings and things. Okay, and as we talk about that, I would also like to mention, though, that we are dealing with policies that regard social gatherings and things based on organization policies, local policies, state policies, and federal. So we would have to take into account what the University of Rio Grande, what they're saying. Are we allowed to hold gatherings? Are we allowed to hold events because of the pandemic? We also have to look into what the locality is doing. So the village of Rio Grande, Gallia County, are they allowing these things? We have to think about the state. Are there state mandates such as mask wearing or things like that we'd have to follow? And then also the macro, the big federal, states macro too, but the big federal policies and what's going on there. Okay, and so there's actually a lot of different levels here of policies and programs that are going to impact even just the micro person. Okay, so let's keep going. The policy group research presentation, this project correlates directly with the group research paper. The group will create a 15 to 20 minute presentation to disseminate their knowledge regarding the chosen social problem and to policies/programs to their peers. The presentation should demonstrate the same points listed above. This should be a cohesive presentation, though different people will be contributing. If you have a group, you can choose to do it by yourself. And then you have the final exam and participation. Assignment information, remember that all assignments must be completed or you can have a failing grade in the course. You are responsible for all assigned reading and presentation materials. If you miss class, I understand that happens. But if you have to miss class, please do not email me asking what you missed, okay? I will not respond. That is one email that I will not respond to because it is your responsibility to get the materials that you missed in class. It is not my responsibility to get that to you. It is on Canvas, or it will be on Canvas for you, so you are able to follow along. You also know from the syllabus what we're focusing on. So you should have the book and you should be able to go through the materials pretty easily. Okay. And you know when everything's due anyway, so it should not be an issue. All right. We've got some statements and things like that, and please go through those. If you need any assistance, please let me know. And here is our schedule. Remember, first week, no in-class no in-person class. It is all online. And then week 2, we will start meeting face-to-face or from the multi-location, for Vinton and Megs. And I'm very excited about this. Okay. So you will see when your quiz opens, we are going to be going through the historical eras of social welfare and how we've gotten to where we are today. And I think it's very interesting, our historical perspectives of social welfare. And so it's very telling of what we're going through today, I think, too. So very interesting. It is. I really like it. So you'll see our highlights and everything. You'll see that midterm opens September 30th. It is due October 7th. This might be earlier than some of your other classes, but it makes it so that way not everything is due at the same time. Your group research paper is due a week after that. I'm going to keep going down. And then I will have some movies and presentations and things like that we will use to apply different knowledge and concepts and things. We will be doing different activities in class that pertain to this class and course. And then you will start your presentations after our Thanksgiving break. And then our final exam will be on Tuesday, December 7th. In our locations that we attend lecture, so Vinton, Megs, you guys will be where you are. Main campus, you'll be in the Woodhall room. And the exam will be taken on Canvas, but it will be taken in person on campus. Okay, and that is the syllabus. I am very excited for this course. I really like policy. I really like talking about policy and teaching about the patterns and how we can kind of predict from a social welfare perspective, how things are going to be impacted for people and for clinicians and things based on administrations in the White House and stuff. And so very excited. This is an extremely easy read. It's a very good read, but it's very easy to follow along. They do a great job. Kind of smaller text and stuff, but it's good. It's not like a really boring text. It's a good text. So I like it. But yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, please email me. Now, I'm going to go on and tell you, I'm going to go ahead and enlarge in my face if I can. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to tell you about what I would like you guys to do for your online assignment. Okay, if you saw on the syllabus, it says a political debate assignment. So what I want you to do is I want you to take our two main political parties in the U.S. So Republicans and Democrats. And we know that they have been filling up the media lately. And so what I want you to do is I want you to look and research the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Okay? And I want you to tell me as much as you can about them. I want you to tell me the pros and cons. I want you to tell me the impacts on the social welfare institutions. In fact, let me go ahead and bring up the actual prompt. Oh, it's not going to let me change this. Dang it. Okay, hold on a second. Because then we're going to come back in week 2 and really talk about it. Okay, let me go ahead and minimize my face again. There we go. Okay, so using the internet or educational videos on the two main political parties in the U.S., prepare documentation of the basic philosophies of these two parties, and in 1 to 2 pages, debate the pros and cons of these platforms as they apply to social welfare policy. So a part of this is going to be making sure that you know what social welfare policy is, what it means, how to identify it. Okay, so I need you to do that and then research the two political parties. Okay, and I know that there's more out there, but we're just going to focus on these main 2. And like I said, write the pros and cons, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss them, okay? Debate them, but remember, pros and cons as they apply to social welfare policy and programs, okay? All right, look at the historical aspects, because that's telling and things, and that'll help lead us into chapter 1 when we go into it in week 2, okay? All right, I would like you to email this to me by Friday, August 27th, by the end of the day. This will count as your participation as well as your attendance for the first week of class. All right, well, you guys have a really good day. Please let me know if you have any questions. Just email me, cruggles@rio.edu. And happy learning!